Liberation, it's like flying, like gliding, like skydiving endlessly. So in the awakening process, we find ourselves in a sort of free fall, right? The crown disappears, the sense of there being any kind of solid me that's demolished, right? Or any kind of fixed way of seeing things that we can hold on to. We really start to taste this non-referential nature of direct experience, this groundless nature. And yeah, we're free falling. And the more we are able to surrender to that, the more enjoyable it is. And the more we are trying to grasp, to hold, to fight, to struggle, the more uncomfortable it's going to be, but eventually it will win the awakening. You know, if it passes through a certain threshold, if you have this deeper shift happening, after that, it's just kind of functioning on its own, this movement of liberation. And there can still be some resistance left in the system, interestingly enough, even after no self-realization. But it will win. It will fully take over. And it's hard to say what it is that is taking over, because it's not anything. It's no thing. But it kind of feels like all the causes and conditions, like the whole universe, is giving its best to make this moment happen. That's how it's sometimes described, this experience of total exertion. So there's no personal agency whatsoever. It's clearly seen that the doership was only a thought that created a lot of unnecessarily control and heaviness and struggle in the experience. So it's very viscerally and energetically felt when that is being released, and there's this tremendous lightness, this total weightless, magical quality, and then do all functioning. It's not static, this reality. It has a dynamic nature. It has this compassionate nature. It has tremendous warmth, which can sometimes manifest as fierceness, and sometimes as gentleness, sometimes as beauty, you know, sometimes as devastation. But when this whole thing settles, like the body-mind settles, there's an all-pervading peace that becomes very salient. So I don't want to say that that's characteristic to non-duality, but it kind of is. I just don't want to give it any characteristics whatsoever, because I think it's, you know, it always then fails. All descriptions fail, but definitely this sense of flying, or like I said, skydiving, that's really descriptive. And the sense of deep, deep, all-pervading peace. And this dynamic, spontaneous functioning. So those would be three characteristics that I would give if I would have to give some characteristics. At least how it's been for me, how it's discovering and exploring itself in this experience. And it is something that you kind of grow into. So the insight, that's barely the beginning. That's barely the beginning of something that could be called liberation, right? But it's very beautiful, this way of experiencing in all its simplicity and ordinariness and extraordinariness. Um, all the vividness of phenomena and sounds, vibrations, colors, luminosity, and something that I would call like reverence. It can be very subtle at times. It's not like emotional thing, really. But there's deep appreciation and kind of ecstatic appreciation at times. It's like pure ecstasy, but it's not a state, and it's so transparent and non-referential, and yeah, even beyond any idea of freedom. It's such a pure expression when it moves through, leaving no trace. Totally seamless. Here and not here. For a conditioned mind, it's kind of a death. This realization that this is it. This is all there is. It's never going to be anything other than this. Just this ordinary experience, which is not really that ordinary when you care to look closer. I mean, it's pretty magical, but yeah, for the conditioned mind who always has this really deep-rooted idea of getting somewhere else, that nirvana would be something else than this, it's a kind of well, I guess it can feel like disappointment initially, but it's not disappointment, it's not disillusionment. Because in the end, there's not going to be anything left that could find reference in those terms like disillusionment or disappointment. They kind of can only refer to something or someone that is not here anymore, or not even someone, but some sort of activity of mind that is not here anymore. There's nothing to do, and yet everything is perfectly accomplished in this moment. I'm speaking about this enlightened reality, of course, and it's completely not what people imagine that it is, I guess, because enlightenment sounds like some really special state, right? It's not a state, and it's not something that anyone could ever attain or realize. But it is self perfecting itself, it's demonstrating itself constantly, but you cannot show it to anyone. I mean, you can say this is it, but you can't show it. You can't demonstrate it like that. It can demonstrate itself. in your experience, for sure, in your direct experience. That's what it does. It's just a play. It's a illusion, right? Like, you can't separate this enlightened functioning from this nature of illusion that is very dreamlike. So it's constantly dreaming itself. There's no thingness. And I think deep inside, we know it's possible to live like this. And that's why there is such a deep longing. Yeah, I don't even want to say to experience this, because you're already experiencing this. But there's longing for this experience of skydiving, flying, gliding effortlessly. And at the same time, in a kind of ecstatic surrender. Grounded in this absolute peace beyond all comprehension. So if you have this longing inside, just follow it to its source, like follow that thread of desire to its source. And see your true nature. See the true nature of everything. It doesn't have any value or meaning or purpose. But for some people, it's the only thing that can really satisfy. This absolute absence of attainment. This path of emptiness. And beauty and compassion.